Now, talk about the pressure of starting on the front row at a place like this, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the most historic racetrack on the face of the earth. You're going to be helping lead the field down to the green flag. When you come down this long front straightaway and see this place out in front of you, what's going through your head?
Obviously, it's a great place to be on the front row. It's really exciting, especially with all the history that's happened here. It's really nice to be in this position, and I'm hoping I could do something special with it.
All right, Zachary Clayman, thank you very much. At this time, we need drivers to your cars. Again, at this time, we need drivers to your cars. We're going to try and talk to fourth place starter Kyle Kaiser here quickly as he is suiting up and getting ready to go. Kyle, it's been a good season so far, but we still just got to put together a few more podium results. You're starting in fourth position for this one. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
Kyle Kaiser, short, straight and to the point. Let's keep walking down the grid here and see who we can find. Santiago Rudia is getting set up to go. We're going to see if we can grab a quick word. Santi, the car looks beautiful. James Hinchcliffe inspired the number 5 with Bilardi Auto Racing. We're getting you in the car. Good luck. What's your plan for this one?
Yeah, we're just going to try to finish the race, get points for the championship, and I will be fine.
Santiago Rudia, he's getting in the car now. Once again, we need all drivers to your cars, all drivers to your car. Colton Herta right here behind us in the number 98. Youngest driver competing in the Indy Lights Championship presented by Cooper Tires. He was your round 2 and round 4 winner at St. Petersburg, where we ran race 2, and then at Barber Motorsports Park in Birmingham, Alabama, just 2 weeks ago, where we ran rounds 3 and 4. Through 4 races so far here in 2017, there's been 3 different winners in the Indy Lights Championship presented by Cooper Tires, and all 3 of those drivers have been rookies. Aaron Telitz scoring the win in round 1, your pro Mazda champion, and then Colton Herta in rounds 2 and rounds 4, and then Nico Jamin, the pole sitter who we just talked to. All 3 of those drivers are rookies in the Indy Lights Championship presented by Cooper Tires, and all 3 of them have been victors here in 2017. The Mazda Road to Indy, it is a unique, one-of-a-kind ladder system. Last year, 33 drivers took the green flag in the Indianapolis 500. Of those 33, 23 drivers were graduates of the Mazda Road to Indy. We're getting ready to kick things off. It's the Mazda Road to Indy Grand Prix presented by Royal Purple.
A lot of jockeying for position as the green flag is out. Jamin's got the advantage, Michael Young, but they go 3, maybe 4 wide, heading to you in turn number 1.
Indeed they are. 3 wide now. They get down into turn number 1. Tila swings wide. Colton Herta on the outside will move up to the 2nd position. The loser there, Kyle Kaiser back. Nico Jamin able to hold off the pack. So a good start for Aaron Telitz as that young man moves from the 8th position up to 3rd. They now make their way through turns 5 and 6, but a great start for your pole sitter, Nico Jamin.
And here he comes on the Holman Boulevard down the straightaway towards turn number 7. About a 3-car length advantage for Nico Jamin. And then that's Colton Herta, who's moved all the way up into 2nd position, starting in 6th position. He's within a car length and a half. They'll make it through turn 7, through 8, 9, the right-hander in turn 10, then they head back down towards the oval portion of the track in turn number 11. Now the gap starts to extend just a little bit. Nico Jamin 3 to 4 car lengths in front of Colton Herta, who advanced from 6th to 2nd as they went 4 wide, battling for 2nd and 3rd in the opening corner of this race.
Boy, good eye, Kevin Lee, because the big mover, again, was Colton Herta, jumping from 6th all the way to 2nd. Telitz goes from 8th to 3rd. As for Nico Jamin, he's already on the front straightaway. Michael Young, the advantage. Looks like it's about 6 car lengths back to Herta.
Really looking for Santiago Rudia to make his way down into turn number 1 and make some gains there. But for Colton Herta, who made that jump, already 2 car lengths behind. Now it's one of the Carlin machines, I believe that's Zachary Clayman DeMello, indeed, who started on the outside of row number 2, missed turn number 1 a little bit, lost a little position there. But Colton Herta now 4 car lengths behind Jorlito Nico Jamin.
And that's Kyle Kaiser with Juncos now moving up into 3rd position, followed by Aaron Telitz, Neil Alberico. Zachary Clayman DeMello, who started on the front row, has fallen back to 6th. Herta pulls within a half a car length, not quite close enough this time into turn number 7. Nico Jamin, who's already won a race this year, started from the pole, continues to lead. Some moves back in the pack, but up front, no change as they get through 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, back on the oval portion of the course on the south end.
Boy, Shelby Blackstock and Matthias Lace came awful close to making contact through turn number 7. Up front, again, it is the 27 of Nico Jamin. He is not getting away, though, as Herta has pulled in to within 3 or 4 car lengths in 2nd. Then you've got Kaiser, really good good battle back for fourth, as it looks like Alberico has gotten around the number 9 car of Aaron Telitz. Front three, though, Michael Young set sail into turn number 1.
Yeah, Colton Herta starting to close in. Now about 3 car lengths at heavy braking zone, but Kyle Kaiser really making the move. Down further back in the field, it's Neil Alberico. Aaron Telitz loses another position as Zachary Claman-DeMello starts to work on the outside of Telitz, dogging him now to the inside. So that'll be the battle for 5th. Aaron Telitz, Zachary Claman-DeMello, who started on the outside of row number 1. Now about 2 car lengths back is the car of Zachary Claman-DeMello. That's the best battle on the field. Again, the battle for 5th. Coming to you, Kevin Lee.
And also keep an eye on Santi Urrutia, who started in 5th position. He's fallen back in 9th, looked a little bit slow this last time by, so he's struggling here in the early going, and it's been an awful start for the championship runner-up last year with a lot of bad luck for Santi Urrutia. Nico Jameen still about 2 to 3 to maybe even 4 car lengths out in front of Colton Herta, and then Kyle Kaiser is still lurking in 3rd place.
Let's take our first trip down to pit lane and talk about some of the drivers maybe further back that have not had a lot of success in the first 3 laps. We'll start with Rob Howden.
It was some pretty aggressive racing all the way through the field. Dalton Kellett had to come into pit lane. He had an issue with the front wing. Left front wing had broken and dropped off, so they had to get that wing replaced. Greg Rakestraw, he's into pit lane and back out, but well behind the leaders.
Absolutely right. And of course, in a race like this where it's so short, any pit stop is going to end your chance of winning. So, frankly, the less that drivers have to contend with guys like you and I, Rob, trying to interview them, means they've got a better chance of winning this very quick race here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Boy, fantastic battle for the lead. Colton Herta took a look to the outside of Nico Jamin, couldn't get the job done. That's allowed Kyle Kaiser to close right on the rear wing. Jamin's opened up a nice battle, but Kevin Lee, the battle for second is on down Holman Boulevard.
Herta really locked him up into 1. Kaiser coming to the outside, trying to go the long way around, and he's going to try to wait for another time. No big chance there. I think that's a smart move for Kyle Kaiser to let this one develop a little bit more. So Jameen expands his advantage to about 7 car lengths after the failed try by Herta. Herta still runs in 2nd, then another couple of car lengths back to Kyle Kaiser. It's getting good up front.
Boy, Davey, it's a lot of fun watching these guys slide around this road.
Yeah, I mean, they're hungry, aren't they? I mean, what great races so far, especially those first 3 spots. How about Colton Herta, though? That start was very, very impressive, obviously, to go from 6th to 2nd right off the bat. Puts himself right in contention because it is hard to pass here. I mean, he's done a great job when you do it on the start. It makes it a lot easier. But then trying to go for that lead down in turn 1, impressive outside move. Unfortunately, he just had to lock his brakes up to get to the corner.
Zach Beach, it's risk versus reward. It certainly paid off for Colton Herta.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the thing that's paid off for me in lights too, is if you can get that done on the start, it just makes your life a lot easier for the rest of the race. And you know, I think Nico, he's got a good spot here being out front because, you know, once we get past this new stage at the tires, everybody's going to settle in and it's going to get even harder to be able to run in traffic.
Davey, for those joining us online, just saw an onboard of Kyle Kaiser. He's using a different line than Herta. A lot of those guys moving around searching for grip.
Well, you know, I'm not, you know, it's hard to tell when you're on onboard like that exactly what the car's doing unless it has massive understeer or oversteer. But right now he is taking a different line than Herta, but I'm watching Herta's car. It looks like the back of that car sliding around just a little bit more than he would like. Little, you know, just losing a little grip coming off the corners.
Drivers will make their way through, again, turn number 10. The best battle on the racetrack is for second. Colton Herta took a look to the lead as he was running down Nico Jamin there in the first 3 or 4 laps. Just couldn't make that pass stick to the outside. And boy, he had to get in line in a hurry because Kyle Kaiser, who's been awful fast throughout the course of this weekend, was ready to pounce and try to grab that second spot. Jamin's advantage over Herta the previous lap was 1 second. We'll see at the start-finish line this time if it has decreased at all. No, it's increased. The 1.1 second, Michael Young, as Jamin sets off into turn number 1.
Yeah, for Colton Herta, he really had Jamin set up but had to go to the outside. So when Jamin took his racing line, he really took Colton Herta out nearly to the curbing at the entrance to turn number 2. That made Colton have to check up, but when he did so, Kyle Kaiser was right there to pounce. So he went from battling for the lead to worrying about defending that second place position. He's starting to regain that confidence, though. He really closed things back up, Kevin Lee, that time by, although Nico Jamin, that's really what he needed to get that Herta machine off his rear wing, and he's able to now check out, talking about Nico Jamin, about 10 to 12 car lengths.
And in that battle for second place last time by, as they work their way into turn 11 right now, Kyle Kaiser had closed within about a car length, maybe 2 car lengths of Colton Herta, and stayed within range all through the south end of the course, and was within a couple of car lengths that they went back on the main straightaway, and that's where Colton Herta separated himself, pulled it back out to about 8 to 10 car lengths. Now again, as they come back towards the main straightaway, it's back within 5 car lengths.
And that's the cool thing, Davey, about this road course. You can set your car up in multiple ways, whether you want to have it really, trimmed out for speed down the long straightaways or to handle on some of the rhythm sections.
Yeah, and that could be these cars, even though teammates, could be completely different at this point, just depending on what drivers like. But you have the Yuko's car in that third, haunting them both right now. But so far, so good. Long ways to go in this race, obviously. And as fast as this track is, tires, they're going to play an issue throughout. You're going to wear them down a little bit, and I think that you need to make sure you keep them underneath of you.
Now that things have finally settled down, as we again had battles throughout the pack, here's a full field rundown. It is Nico Jamin, your leader. Colton Herta sits in second. Kyle Kaiser is third. Those 3 drivers separated by just 2 seconds. Neil Alberico sits in the 4th position. Zachary Clayman-DeMello is 5th. Aaron Telitz is 6th. Shelby Blackstock runs in the 7th position. Matthias Laced is 8th. Santi Urrutia is 9th. Running in the 10th spot is Nico DePero. Ryan Norman is 11th. Garth Ricards is 12th. Dalton Kellett is 13th. Juan Pedrohita, again, a scratch. He will finish in the 14th position. Keeping an eye right now on that 6th place running machine of Aaron Telitz. Michael Young, he was a big mover when we dropped the green flag, but after that, dropped a couple positions, and now he's got a huge train of cars. Telitz being followed by his teammate, Blackstock, Lace, Urrutia. A lot of cars trying to run down and pick up that 6th spot from Aaron Telitz.
Yeah, I think he did a good job on that start, being Aaron Telitz making that position, but really didn't have the car, and then those that started in those first 3 rows made up that ground again. Shelby Blackstock's the first car to get back to the rear wing of Aaron Telitz, but he's about 6 to 7 car lengths as they exit turn number 4 right now, so really not in touch with the Telitz car. Right behind Shelby Blackstock is the car of Zachary Clayman-DeMello. So a couple of battles right there. Santi Urrutia starting to find a little speed, if you will. He had a lot of trouble the first couple of portions of this course, especially when he got to Holman Boulevard, but finding his way now is that Bilardi with Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports driver.
Meanwhile, the top 5 have checked out just a little bit and are still within range of each other. A little battle shaping up for 4th. Neil Alberico running in 4th, 5 or so car lengths in front of Zachary Clayman-DeMello, who lost his spot on the front row, falling back to at least 6th, maybe 7th. He made up 1 position here going into turn 7 in the opening lap, so he's trying to pedal his way back into contention.
Zach Veach, Nico Jamin survived the first lap as the pole sitter. I know you're always worried, boy, someone might miss their braking points and take you out. He survived the first challenge by Colton Herta. Impressed so far how that French driver's done?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Nico's in my favorite spot of the race, which, I mean, of course, the lead, but I'm not meaning because of that. It's just there's a feeling that you have when you're in control of a race. And for me, in Indy Lights, it always worked out. If I got the lead, for the most part, I just always checked out because I got in that rhythm where you're just where you want to be, and then you just start hitting your marks more perfectly because, everything's in your hands, and it really just falls to you. And that's just watching these cars dance around just from my experience last year. Just, makes me reminisce a little bit just because, these guys are having a ball out there. And I think no one's having more fun than Nico because when you got that clean air on a track with your car working right in this light series, I mean, it's just all the fun in the world.
Kind of 2 different races developing here in the early portions of this race here. Again, the Mazda Road to Indy Grand Prix presented by Royal Purple, supporting the Lupus Foundation of America. Front 5 have checked out. 3.4 seconds separates Nico Jamin back to Zachary Clayman-DeMello, who runs in 5th. And then you've got the 6th place running Aaron Telitz machine, and all the way back to 10th of Nico DePero. They're all separated by about 3.5 seconds. Michael Young, again, 2 sets of 5-car trains making their way down the front straightaway.
I was starting to think that Colton Herta might start making up ground on Nico Jamin, and as soon as I think that, then Nico Jamin pops out another car length or so. Kyle Kaiser still about 4 car lengths behind the 2nd place running Herta. Then it's Neil Alberico, Zachary Clayman-DeMello. Drop back into the 10 cars, and it's the Aaron Telitz machine, Shelby Blackstock, and then the car of Matthias Lace. Right behind him is Santi Urrutia as we round out the rest of the field. Nico DePero and Ryan Norman behind him, about another 8 car lengths.
Well, the front 5 are all equally spaced as Nico Jamin now makes his way into turn number 7. probably 20 car lengths back to Herta, and then another 20 or so to Kaiser, Alberico, Clayman DeMello. That's the front five. No change as they continue on. But keep in mind, you have to manage your Cooper tires. They last very, very well, but we already saw a lockup, for example, from Colton Herta. That might allow Kaiser an opportunity. Still, a lot can develop here in the final stages of this race.
Of course, this is a massive, massive weekend of racing, all up and down the Mazda Road to Indy ladder system. And Rob Houghton, we've already had a couple races in the books. You're standing by with one of the big winners already today.
Yeah, guys, one of the drivers to watch right now in 2017 here in the Mazda Road to Indy, presented by Cooper Tires. Another than the Florida driver, Oliver Askew. Oliver, another huge win for you. You know, we talked after you won in St. Petersburg how your expectations kind of changed, but you're still not putting a lot of pressure on yourself. But you come to a place like Indianapolis, you really want to win here. The pressure is up, and you were able to get the job done from pole today. Give me some insight on the race and what it means to you to win here at Indy.
I try not to think about it too much heading into this race, but of course it's extremely special for me to win here. You know, I grew up watching Indy cars run around this track. This is the IndyCar track, you know what I mean? So it's very cool. That's where I want to be when I grow up. So the car felt fantastic. Cape Motorsports guys did a very good job throughout this week building up to it. The race pace was really good. We were able to pull away from the car in seconds, and just got to keep our heads down for tomorrow. Maybe we can make another clean sweep.
4 straight wins. Does that change your mindset in the season? You're obviously starting to think championship a little bit. I think the one saving grace you have is you have Dominic and Nicholas Kate, your team owners, who will never let you get a big head. They're pretty aggressive in terms of it comes to keep it humble.
They are. You're exactly right, Rob. My mindset hasn't changed really. I'm given the opportunity to win races, so that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to get the most points. So the championship's the most important thing, of course.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Nick Yeoman, I think we're going to be talking about this young driver here in a number of years. He'll be trying to make his way into Pro Mazda next year, and if all goes well, you're going to find him in one of these Indy Lights cars in a couple of years.
Yeah, Oliver Askew's just been on fire. I mean, he is just tearing up that USF 2000 series right now. Super talented driver, and you can just hear it. Awful impressive driver between the ears as well. 11 laps in the books here, 19 to go at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Nico Jamin is your leader. Colton Herta runs second. Kyle Kaiser is third. Kevin Lee, moments ago we had a change for fourth as Neil Alberico had a big moment down there in turn 7.
Alberico was closing the gap, looking for a podium position, and he was catching Kyle Kaiser. And I just noticed as we see another one loop around in the back coming out of 7, that's Nico DePero, the other Junco's car, and he is in the grass, and for the moment he is not able to get out. So this could cause a local caution. He has it still running, and he's still moving, and it looks like he could make his way back onto the course before anyone else comes by. But last time by, a challenge for third, and Alberico couldn't make the corner in turn number 7, went off in the grass, but only lost one position. He's now running in 5th. That allowed Zachary Clayman DeMello to get one more spot back. He's in 4th.
Davey, Nico DePero's doing everything he can not to bring out a full course caution, but that grass is not easy to get out of.
Yeah, well, he's going to get it. He has it on the asphalt now. He just needs to make sure he doesn't get in their way. So there he goes. He should be good shape, should not pull a yellow out right now. Cars will be coming around, catching up to him momentarily, but he's in a safe spot, looks like.
Yeah, Kevin Lee, give us an update. I mean, the field not necessarily closing in on the back of that wounded car at all, are they?
Nope, there was a back marker that was coming through, and they shouldn't catch him. They may eventually catch him, but it's not going to be anytime soon. He'll have his tires cleaned off. Already, DePero is back into turn number 12, so he's a good probably 25 seconds in front of the lead pack.
So as much as we would have loved to have seen a restart, I know a lot of those car owners, Davey Hamilton, you were one for many years. The last thing you want is for those guys to try to barrel into turn 1 again, because we're lucky probably any time to make it through turn 1.
Well, especially as the leader of the race. You really don't want that to happen. But, you know, I've been watching some lap times, and wow, I mean, Herta, he's about 0.3 of a second off the leader. Kaiser actually is a little quicker than Herta, but then the fastest right there was Clayman DeMello. He has some good running, and he's found himself right on the backside of Kaiser.
How about Michael Young? Colton Herta leading 2nd, 3rd, and 4th the battle into turn 1.
Yeah, and Kyle Kaiser about that 3-car length disadvantage on the Colton Herta machine, but for Zachary Clayman DeMello, it's been a pretty impressive run. Slowly but surely working his way back. Obviously, the unforced error by Neil Alberico got him back to that 4th position, but as we had said that Davey Hamilton was talking about those lap times. Zachary Clayman DeMello is quick, starting on the outside of row number 1 and starting to close in ever so slowly on that third place machine of Kyle Kaiser down to turn number 7.
2, 3, 4 is pretty tight right now, but Nico Jameen continues to expand his advantage a little further back from the 2, 3, 4 battle to the 5th place running car of Neil Alberico. And now we've got a challenge for second position, and Colton Herta has gone a little bit wide, and he's going to lose a second spot. So Herta is going to fall from 2nd to 4th. And we have a change up front. Kyle Kaiser has moved into 2nd place.
Yeah, that 98 car of Colton Herta suddenly slowed through turns 7 and 8. That allowed Kyle Kaiser to take a really aggressive entrance into the right-hander of turn number 10. He shoved Colton Herta wide, was able to grab the spot. That opened the door up for Zachary Clayman DeMello to take 3rd, and Michael Young Herta is now going to have his rearview mirrors full of Neil Alberico.
Nico Jameen through 1 already. There's Kaiser, then Zachary Clayman DeMello. Indeed, Neil Alberico looking for an advantage, trying to get that position back, that 4th place position. Nice battle further back. That is the machine of Mateus Laced and Shelby Blackstock. Laced able to get around Shelby Blackstock, and Aaron Thielitz in front of them. That's 6th, so 7th place just taken to the hands of Mateus Laced. Good run for him.
Jameen is checking out right now. He's doing the left-hander in turn 7. We wait. Kaiser now making the left-hander. Herta, meanwhile, challenge back for 5th position, and we have all kinds of action coming through 7 and 8, and more problems for Colton Herta, who loses another position to Neil Alberico. Alberico moves into 4th.
One thing about these Coopers, I don't know if Colton actually has a genuine problem, because he seems to be losing pace as well, but we saw Zachary Clayman DeMello kind of push Colton out way high up into the marbles, and these Coopers, once you pick up marbles, it takes a good lap and a half to 2 laps for that race script to really come back to it. So I don't know if he's just having a problem with the setup to begin with, and those marbles made it worse, or if he's got a genuine problem that's slowing the car down.
Davey, describe to our listeners what it's like when you get some of those marbles, those chunks of rubber on those tires, how difficult it is to drive these cars.
Well, it's very difficult, as Zach said, is you get offline and you know, unfortunately, these tires, they wear out. So when they wear out, it creates chunks of rubber, usually to the outside of the corners. You get pushed up there, as you said, you get those hot Cooper tires, picks all that back up, sticks to the tire, and you can get them off, but it's not that easy. I mean, even going down the straightaways, when you get them, you try to swerve back and forth, just try to clean those tires off, and the problem, a little bit of a problem, is it slows you down so much it's hard to get them clean. You have to really try to keep your speed up to scuff all that off your tires.
15 laps down, 15 to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is the Mazda Road to Indy Grand Prix presented by Royal Purple, supporting the Lupus Foundation of America. Keeping an eye on Colton Herta. He's got his rearview mirrors now full of Aaron Thielitz. That's a pair of winners already this season. That's a battle for 5th. Let's hear from another one of the big winners so far this weekend here on the Mazda Road to Indy, standing by on pit lane with Rob Howden.
You know, the guy got here, Victor Franzoni, he didn't even have a ride in Pro Mazda when we went to St. Petersburg. It didn't happen just a couple days before the event. Victor, now you find yourself as a race winner in the Pro Mazda category. Of course, Lupus Racing giving you the opportunity. Jeff Green, your teammate, helping out as well. You just won Indianapolis today, a big victory for you. Give me your thoughts on what it means to win here in Pro Mazda.
So winning here for me was amazing. My first race in Pro Mazda was here, and then my first test with Juncos Racing was here, and now I had my first win in Pro Mazda. So almost everything important happened here. So I'm really happy. Juncos Racing, they gave me an amazing car. It's really fast. I can do whatever I want with the car, and it's working. And I'm really happy to be with them, because now they jump to IndyCar, so I'm learning a lot of things. I'm all the time seeing the IndyCar guys, how they work. So this being more than just a normal season, it's being something that I'm learning a lot, and I think I'm gonna take all of this to the future. So I hope one day I get there, I'm gonna already at least know a little bit more.
Congratulations on today. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Victor Franzoni, guys, the winner in Pro Mazda. A lot of great racing on the racetrack. Let's get back to it.
Yeah, Colton Herta is just, I mean, he's got an anchor out the back of that race car. We're not exactly sure what the problem is, and now he is going to go to pit lane. Colton Herta, the points leader in the Indy Lights Series presented by Cooper Tires, has taken that number 98 Andretti Steinbrenner Mazda to pit lane with issues here as he was getting passed left and right. right. Further back, Michael Young. Shelby Blackstock under attack from his teammate Santi Urrutia.
And Urrutia makes a look to the inside, really forces his teammate wide. Now they make contact at the exit of turn number 2. Blackstock with the front right hits Santi Urrutia's left rear. It will slow Blackstock down, move Urrutia up a couple of positions, or one position, I should say, now 6 car lengths ahead of his teammate Shelby Blackstock.
So that gets him up to 7th. Shelby Blackstock moves up, make that Santi Urrutia moves up to the 7th position. Meanwhile, side by side, and that is Matthias Lace working on Aaron Telitz, and Lace gets a position. And then we have more side by side potential opportunities throughout the rest of this field.
A lot of side-by-side racing throughout the course of the field. Nico Jimin is still your leader at 3.1 seconds. Back to Kyle Kaiser. He's got his hands full trying to hold off Zachary Claman-DeMello. That's your podium right now with 13 laps to go here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Colton Herta has just left pit lane and has gone back onto the racetrack. Rob Howden, that points leader, that's not where he wanted to end up, though, on pit lane here with 13 to go.
Yeah, Nick, it ended up being a right rear puncture on the Cooper tire for Colton Herta. Again, you saw him falling deep into the field, and as I said, right rear puncture for your point leader.
So it's Jamin, Kaiser, Claman-DeMello, Alberico, Lace and Telitz are just slugging it out for 5th right now. Then you've got Santi Urrutia running 7th. Ryan Norman runs in 8th. Shelby Blackstock is 9th. Garth Ricards is 10th. Let's exhale a little bit with 12 laps to go because the battling throughout the field has been absolutely ferocious. Happy to have the historian of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Donald Davidson, join us as he does every year on the IMS radio network. Donald, good to see you as always.
Thank you, Nick.
You've been a busy, busy man over the past couple months all across the state of Indiana.
We've been across the state of Indiana and even out of it a few times. So we've been going around giving talks to communities and Lions clubs and chambers of commerce and some special events that mayors have put on. And we've done several at racetracks. We've done Springfield. We did. Let's see. We went to Lawrenceburg, and we're going to go to Bloomington. Anyway, we've been all over the place, and some of them out of state. And it's just been great. Everywhere we went, we've run into race fans, and we've done, I think, 46 talks. And we've been averaging 80 people, and a lot of them listening to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Radio Network.
Donald, of course, last year, I don't know how you can call the 100th running of the Indianapolis 500 anything but a success, because just a massive crowd that we saw on race day, and certainly everybody wondered, okay, can we parlay all that momentum, all those people into 101st? Doug Bowles says the ticket sales look good, and I would imagine you would know of it more than anyone, the anticipation, the excitement of the fan base for this 100 run, first running coming up here.
Sure, absolutely. Well, we started doing these talks at the end of January, and we were already getting the buzz. So we knew that a lot of people that either had never gone until last year, or they used to go, stopped, and then came back last year, we did know that they were coming back. And then I have to say that the announcement of Fernando Alonso coming was just huge. When that was I don't know how that was pulled off, because I hadn't heard anything about that, and I actually heard about it on the news at 6:45 in the morning, and I thought, whoa, that's going to have a huge impact, and it has immediately. So I think you will see a huge crowd here this year.
And I would assume, Donald, as a guy who loves the history of this race, and I'm sure certainly cherishes the guys like Dario Franchitti that appreciate the history and the challenge of running Indianapolis. In this day and age, we don't see Formula One drivers come over and race Indy. I'm sure that's got to be special to your heart for Fernando to think so much of the Indianapolis 500 to want to put that on his bucket list.
Well, there was a lot of them that wanted to do it, and they would, unfortunately, for a while there was a bit of a stranglehold, and as long as they were running Formula One, that wasn't going to happen, which I thought was a little bit sad, because a lot of them wanted to, and so that's why Jean Elise and Rubens Barrichello were able to eventually do that after they were no longer running in Formula One. But now things have loosened up a little bit, and it's not quite back to the way it was in the mid and late 60s, where you had all of the leading drivers running in all of the leading events. But it's certainly a step in the right direction, and I think that Alonso's appearance here will add a tremendous amount of credibility to the race, even more than it already had.
Well, Donald, you're a valuable member of this radio network. We always enjoy having you year after year.
Thank you, Nick.
Really enjoyed the moments in motorsports that we've been able to play throughout the course of the year.
I've got to get some more of those together because we've only got a couple in the bank.
We've enjoyed them, and I think some of your regular listeners are probably on hold already for the radio show. Talking Gaslight now
thank
a little
you.
bit
Yeah,
today.
that's just about an hour and a half away. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Donald. Great to see you once again. The historian of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Donald Davidson. 9 laps to go here in the Mazda Road to Indy Grand Prix presented by Royal Purple, supporting the Lupus Foundation of America. Nico Jamin still your leader, Kevin Lee. That battle for second not really going away as Kyle Kaiser sets up for turn 7.
Zachary Clayman DeMello is still charging and still putting just a bit of pressure on Kyle Kaiser. He's generally within 2 or 3 car lengths, and not only is it significant if you can finish on the podium at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, but Zachary Clayman DeMello, in his second year now in Indy Lights, has yet to finish on the podium in this series. So he can smell that at this point. He's just 19 years old. Just a couple of years ago, he was driving go-karts. He's really only into his second full season of driving race cars, had some experience in 2015, but he has been impressive at times, and he's got an opportunity to get something done even better today and move up all the way to second as he continues to challenge Kaiser.
Zach Veach, how big would that be for a driver like Zachary Clayman DeMello? Never been on the podium, and might be able to do it here in Indy.
I think it just adds confidence. You know, this is your second year in Indy Lights, so you feel like you need to start performing and having those results. And, you know, for him to, what was it, his first time qualifying on the front row, I believe. So today already started off with a big bang for him. And to finish on the podium, I think is just going to give him some momentum to keep carrying forward. And this is the time you want to get that momentum. You want to carry from today and tomorrow, and of course the biggest race of the year, the Freedom 100 for these guys.
And Davey, for Trevor Carlin, the car owner of that number 13, he's used to having cars up front in Indy Lights. It's been kind of an up and down season as his drivers have began to mature and get on the same page with the engineers and strategists. But this is kind of what Carlin Racing expects to see drivers up front.
Yeah, they expect to win. Yeah. There's no question about it. I mean, they came into the series and showed how to do it their very first race by winning the race, and so they expect this. And I think, you know, like Zach said, once you get that communication together, you're learning the team, you're learning these tracks. It's your second time around. It's time for him to set up. And you know, one thing you look at too is I know it's early in the season, Nick, for sure, but you look at the points. And Colton Herta had a huge point lead. I mean, a huge point lead. Now he's tied up right now.
Battle for second is on, Michael Young.
Inside goes Zachary Clayman DeMello. Kyle Kaiser tried to answer the bell on the outside, unable to do it. Textbook pass for Zachary Clayman DeMello. Started on the outside of row number 1 and battles his way back to that second position. Slowly but surely, methodically, worked his way up to the front. The former teammates now work their way down Holman Boulevard. Zachary Clayman DeMello's 5-car length advantage over Kyle Kaiser.
What a move for the teenager from Montreal going into turn 1 down the main straightaway. Now he'll work to hold off Kyle Kaiser. That battle is not totally done yet, but Clayman DeMello has already separated himself by 2 or 3 car lengths, and then he'll see if he can start to run down Nico Jamin, but that's going to be a tall order. Jamin has somewhat checked out, not totally decided at this point, but Jamin is still very comfortable. So now it's Clayman DeMello in second, then Kaiser, Alberico, and Mateus Laced rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Neil Alberico may join this party in a heartbeat. Zachary Clayman DeMello, the new second-place running car, his car sips wide a little bit at the exit of turn number 14, back out of the front straightaway. It's Jamin, then you've got the lap car of Dalton Kellett, and that great battle for second heading to turn number 1.
So Nico Jamin makes his way around Dalton Kellett, the lap car. Zachary Clayman DeMello, 3-car length advantage over Kyle Kaiser. Neil Alberico about 4 car lengths off of that battle. Then Mateus Laced in 5th. Aaron Thielitz about 6 car lengths behind in 6th. Then it's Arrutia, Ryan Norman, and the machinist Shelby Blackstock as they make their way down Holman Boulevard. It is Zachary Clayman DeMello able to gap that second-place advantage about 6 car lengths. But as we had said, Neil Alberico started to close in on the rear wing of Kyle Kaiser.
Alberico has had a good start to this season with a couple of podiums and a 4th-place finish already. Last year was a bit disappointing as a rookie in Indy Lights, but he's been coming on. Can't get any closer to challenge Kaiser this time around, so Alberico continues to run in 4th, chasing Kaiser, Clayman DeMello, and Nico Jamin, who has dominated this race.
Let's get a note from pit lane from Rob Howden.
Yeah, Nick, you got to see this is fantastic up front here. Nico Jamin debuted a brand new sponsor here this weekend, Duramax Oil, and I had a chance to have a quick chat with one of the reps from the company here, and I said, that logo looks pretty good up front. And they just smiled and said, heck yeah, it does. So they're having a good time down here right now. A brand new sponsor for Nico Jamin, and he's making sure that they get a lot of exposure here in the opening round.
Yeah, Zach Beach, how he said, you got sponsors in the pit, you better perform.
Well, that's the thing, you know, it is so tough to get, you know, those sponsors lined up for Indy Lights, and they come out for their first race of the year. That's a lot of extra pressure, especially, you know, being young, knowing that sponsor could possibly take you to IndyCar if things go well. So you got to perform. So Nico's doing well, not under the pressure of being in Indy Lights, but the pressure of having his funders here too.
Speaking of sponsorships, Davey Hamilton, Royal Purple, you've got a long relationship with that company as well. They're the sponsor for the Mazda Road to Indy Grand Prix here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Not only is Royal Purple the sponsor, but they're supporting the Lupus Foundation of America. A great cause this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely a great cause, and I encourage everybody to donate if they could to Lupus, and we as Royal Purple are proud to be associated with them, you know, at this event, and it's always great. Like I said, we can see our offices right from this broadcast booth, and it's a local company, loves Indianapolis, loves motorsports, and Royal Purple, we feel we have you know, the best products on the market, and we want to place with the best cars in the, you know, the racing divisions that they're in the world. So we're here with the entire Road to Indy series, and Dan Anderson's treated the company and Royal Purple very well, and we're just happy to be part of it.
Frenchman Nico Jamin roars across the yard of bricks. Just 4 laps to go. Michael Young, the lap car of Dalton Kellett, did the sportsmanlike thing and got out of the way as that battle for second continues to rage on into turn 1.
Yeah, Kyle Kaiser doing a good job as best as he can do, as Zachary Clayman DeMello unable to shake Kyle Kaiser, but for Neil Albarico, he's just got around that lap car of Dalton Kellett. Further back, Mateus Lace, Aratilas, not really any battle there. Nico Jamin able to check out. He's already entering turn number 7 as the second place machine is Zachary Clayman DeMello halfway down Holman Boulevard.
We also should mention Colton Herta, the championship leader, coming in, who went from 6th to 2nd in the first few corners. Lost a few positions as we continued, eventually had to pit because of a puncture, and he's running in 12th position right now. So we could have a major shakeup in the championship after race 1 of the doubleheader this weekend here on the road course at Indianapolis.
Yeah, and Davey Hamilton, this is a 16-round championship, so is it silly to talk about points during the 5th race? Maybe, but look how it's shaking out right now with Colton Herta running back in 12th. He's got 110 points. His lead down to just 3 points with Nico Jamin and Kyle Kaiser right there tied for second.
Yeah, it was like 20 going into this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so it was kind of a runaway by Colton Herta. So even though it's early, it's good to see that there's at least 3 of the guys in that 100-point bracket. The rest of the guys, we see the next guy down, 89 with Tillitz and 88 with Albarico. So those 3 guys definitely have an advantage. I know it's early. A lot of things can happen, but, boy, it's always nice to have a strong point.
And, Zach Beach, that's what we're used to in this Indy Lights Championship. I mean, these championship battles usually come down to the last weekend at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. This year it's going to be at Watkins Glen, the finale. I'm not going to be surprised at all if we have 2 or 3 drivers in the hunt.
Oh, for sure. And, you know, that's the thing. You can't write anybody off saying that they have a lead and they're going to be the ones that win it at this point, because I remember in 2014, Chavez and I came into the Indy GP with like a 35-point lead, or 35-point separation from 3rd place. And what do you know? That guy, Jack Harvey, I believe was at the time, was on top of us by 3/4 of the way through, and then we were battling back and forth for the end. So, you know, you definitely want to do the best you can to set yourself up for that second half of the season. But, you know, for me, I feel like the championship, it starts in St. Pete for sure. But the pressure doesn't really come on to you until the halfway point. You just got to be consistent and consistently up front. And as Michael Andretti told me, it wasn't his wins that won his championships. It was his 2nd and 3rd place finishes.
Nico Jamin across the yard of bricks. 2 laps to go, Michael Young, and that gap back to Zachary Clayman DeMello is 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, it looks as if Zachary Clayman DeMello closing that gap. Obviously, time running out for 2nd place Zachary Clayman DeMello, but also Nico Jamin kind of in cruise control, has dominated this race. Once Colton Herta tried to make that pass on the outside of row 1, it has been all Nico Jamin. He's through the switchback in turns 5 and 6.
While most drivers start their craft as young as maybe 6 years old, and certainly at 8, 9, or 10, Nico Jamin was a serious tennis player until he was a teenager. He didn't start racing and karting until he was 15 years old. So just 6 years in, he's got an opportunity to win on the top step of the Mazda Road to Indy at the world's greatest race course. Still a very comfortable margin for Nico Jamin as he gets closer and closer to the white flag.
A little over a lap to go, Davey. If this holds, it's going to be the 4th win for an Andretti car in 5 races. And Michael's team has been up and down in recent years in the Indy Lights Series.
Yeah, you know, this year they seem to have a combination. Now, you got to remember, he didn't even know if he was going to run Indy Lights, right?
Yeah.
It was a big question mark. He decides to do it, comes in, and wins. He's, well, potentially going to win 4 of the first 5 races. So that team's so impressive. No matter what, Indy cars or Indy Lights or whatever he does, they have the proper people who know how to do it. So.
And I credit a lot of that to, you know, they hired back Doug Zister, who was my engineer in 14, and he really helped us, you know, be so competitive through 13 and 14. And Doug went to Schmidt for the 2015 and 16 season. They brought him back to Andretti, and I just know how much of a tool he is when it comes to training young drivers, and I think that's what he's been doing for them.
White flag is out. Michael Young, you've already seen the Frenchman Nico Jamin smash by in turn 1.
Yes, indeed. And for this young freshman, just 2 years ago, he came onto the scene, actually 2014, was able to garner a 9th place finish in the USF 2000, won the championship the year after, and finished 3rd last year at Pro Mazda. So likable, so shy, but so very, very good. About to be a winner here in Indianapolis.
Zachary Clayman DeMello has been closing the gap, running nearly a half a second faster the last couple of laps. He's within about 5 or 6 car lengths. Kyle Kaiser lurking back another 10 car lengths in 3rd position, but not likely to have enough. Nico Jamin has been in control, and he's back on the main straightaway for the final time.
Yeah, Zachary Clayman DeMello might have got close enough to make Nico Jamin sweat just a bit, but it's not going to be enough. Across the yard of Brooks, the Frenchman Nico Jamin picks up career win number 2 here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He'll go to victory lane in the Mazda Road to Indy Grand Prix presented by Royal Purple, supporting the Lupus Foundation of America. Nico Jamin is the winner. Winning car owner is Michael Andretti, and he's standing by on pit lane with Rob Howden.
Michael, 4 wins in the first 5 races. Andretti Autosport on a roll here in Indy Lights.
Yeah, it's awesome. We got 2 really good drivers. We've got 4 good drivers, but we got 2 that, you know, are getting us the wins, and awesome job, you know. Nico did an awesome job all weekend so far, getting pole and leading every lap, so that was awesome. And poor Colton there, had a flat tire. He had a shot at, you know, still finishing second, so that hurt a little bit, but we'll take the win.
Serious competitive fire in both of those drivers.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be duking it out the rest of the year for sure.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
Michael Andretti, Nick Yeoman, like you said, what a team now. They have been up and down, as you said, the last couple of years. They've won some big races, of course, getting the Freedom 100 with Dean Stoneman, but man, they got a good squad here this year.
That Duramax-sponsored Mazda for Nico Jamin and Andretti Autosport going to go to victory lane in the cool-down lap. Jamin saluting all the fans, track workers around this 14-turn, 2.4-mile road course. Jamin picks up the win. Zachary Clayman DeMello, a career-best second-place finish. The gap at the line just happened to be 0.8 of a second, so he was closing but just ran out of time. Kyle Kaiser finishes in 3rd for Juncos Racing.
Second victory of 2017 here at the Grand Prix of Indianapolis. Nico Jamin, congratulations. Great job. Your win here today ties you for 2nd in the championship with Kyle Kaiser. Tell me about the race.
That was just an amazing race. You know, I knew I was going to have a really good race car. The balance felt actually a little bit better in qualifying, so we made the right change going to the race. I knew I had to push really, really hard in the first lap to try to get Colton out of push to pass because he was able to keep up with me with the push to pass. So just throw some fast laps out there and got him out of push to pass, but I pushed really hard on my tires, and that's why I was a little bit struggling at the end. But overall, it's an amazing day, and just so happy to be here.
Obviously, we talked earlier this weekend about how so far this season only rookies have won races in the Indy Lights Championship. You're a rookie. This is your 2nd win this season. You've kept the streak alive. Mazda, Royal Purple, Cooper Tires, the Lupus Foundation of America, a lot of people stepping up. How competitive is this series right now?
Yeah, I mean, I can't thank everyone enough. You know, Royal Purple, and very happy to race for the Lupus Foundation this weekend. Can't thank enough the Duramax guys. Very happy to have them on board this weekend and bring them to victory lane. That's very special for me. We're chasing for the lead in the championship. We're 1 up now. We went from 3rd to 2nd, so we'll keep doing the same thing and try to win again tomorrow.
Nico Jamin, your winner here on day 1 in Indianapolis. Congratulations.
Thank you.